as Lou Petroshi, I believe, Lou's on the speaker as well.
Yeah,
Was Lou?
he's muted.
He's muted. Okay.
But he's on.
I'm here.
Yay, Lou. Hey, Lou. Okay. So why don't we move on then to number 2, approval of May 2026 minutes, pages 3 through 6. I would note that just for clarity in the minutes on item number 9, executive session, that should state not just matters related to personnel, it should be matters regarding the employment history of an individual that can't go into executive session on personnel. You have to state with specificity. At least that was my understanding, unless they've changed in it. Is there a pleasure of the board? Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Anything else on the question? All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Treasurer's report? May plus June.
Yeah, we did not have a June board meeting, so we can review both the May and the June 2026 Treasury report. Generally debits and credits related to the 64 properties that have been under construction, and some things related also to payroll and staff expenses. We have several different accounts, as you can see them at the bottom. You can see we have separate for city and county, ARPA, and then BENLIC day-to-day, BENLIC utilities. The ARPA accounts are at about plus or minus $3 million each, city and county. So you can see from 24.5 million, we're getting down to the bottom, to the end of our of paying BCC for that project, and so they will be completely billed out by November of this year. So at the end of May 2026, our total balance is $8,531,325.41. That's for May. And then moving on to the next page, that would be $7,508,136.24. So, oh wow, we took a big jump down to $2 million in each account on the June report. So yes, we're getting to the bottom of our money as per plan. So any questions about any of those expenditures, debits and credits? I'm happy to help answer.
Were there any questions from the board, or is there a pleasure of the board? Did Adam have any items of notes, given that he's not here?
He didn't. I mean, I have been I didn't get anything directly about the meeting, about any concerns.
With that, I'll move to approve both the May and the June treasurer's reports. Is there a second?
One second.
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Item number 4. And if I recall, got the memo. Okay. So that's the amend resolution 2025-8, disposition of ARPA infill initiative properties by lottery process.
So there is no page in the package for that. That would be a verbal call from the floor. And the intent of the resolution is to enable the properties to be disposed for ARPA on a case-by-case basis, as opposed to a lottery. The program guidelines all remain unchanged. The income restrictions, all other program requirements, the case-by-case basis. The general intention is to enable BENLIC to reduce the amount of time, holding time, that these properties have been within our inventory, and to as soon as a qualified buyer comes in, to try and move them to closing as fast as possible. It's the general intent. So board chair has a verbal amendment.
Case by case or first?
It was the first come, first served.
All right, first come, first served.
And that was one of the reasons why I did ask Ben to have a printed one, so at least I had it, so that way we could offer it forward. So the motion itself is the motion to amend the board's prior motion, and that's the 2025-8. Regarding the disposition of ARPA-funded homes to permit any home not currently under contract and any future homes made available for sale to be offered on a first-come, first-served basis to qualified purchasers who are considered qualified under existing program requirements. And that would be in the form of a motion. So I would so move that.
And if I could just confirm that's it. That's you're no longer going to sell them by lottery, correct? That's you're changing the disposition method for these properties, that they'll no longer be sold by lottery and instead be sold on a case by case basis to qualified buyers. Does that sound right?
That is correct.
At a fixed
That-
price.
That is correct, John.
So
I
the-
just would ask somebody, either Monica or Ben, can we provide some more color to it as to why we arrived at this to alter that resolution?
Sure. We've done a few cycles now of lotteries for the ARPA homes. And, between initial, lottery opening up to final buyer selection, getting that buyer through the closing process, that can be a significant period of time, maybe 30 plus days. There has been instances where buyers either naturally will fall through, whether it was for reasons they're not able to get financing, they find other properties that they want to purchase, and having to put those properties back then through the lottery, that potential extended 30 period of time, that's a long time. Those properties are in our inventory. In addition, a lot of buyers, interested buyers have found, the lottery process to not be as desirable. They might want to be, they're looking simultaneously for housing opportunities. So the first come, first serve would enable certainly us to move from delivery of the property from the construction management team to BENLIC to getting a homeowner ultimately into that property as quickly as possible. And just let us execute as, efficiently.
Is this also a reflection of the volume of applicants that we're receiving? So I think we anticipated there would be many more applicants that would make up the pool, as we called it before. So because there's not as many, then we don't have this a lottery, the necessity to have a lottery in the same way that we envisioned before. Is that fair to say?
Certainly fair. It's already unique, somewhat unique process in the sense that you're working with Belmont Housing Services as opposed to finding it on, the private market. There's additional requirements in terms of the documentation to collect, and then we're certainly working through that application process with Belmont. The lottery, it can certainly disincentivize, buyers from participating in the anticipated numbers we thought. This still, thankfully allows us to remain compliant. The program rules and guidelines aren't changing other than trying to get homeowners in the house.
Can you just give us some numbers on the lottery, like the last lottery, how many people entered, how many people were qualified, and how many houses we disposed of through that process?
I know we were updating today, and I was getting ready for the board meeting. I know there were some edits being made. So Monica, I don't know if
Yeah.
that.
So of the 21 completed homes, 14 have been are under contract right now. 7 were not chosen through the lottery process.
And then Cheektowaga would be, those are already all sold. So those, we did do a lottery for Cheektowaga and disposed of.
Right, so we're only talking about changing the disposition of city properties. But of the 21, how many people entered the lottery?
So there were 57 applicants when they closed it, but then Belmont went through to verify income eligibility, and that dwindled down to I think like 20.
Yeah.
But 21 or so, and a few people were interested in the same house. and the lottery process groups people together, so.
Yeah.
There's no wait
So-
list, being generated.
Right. And I think that's the main.
They're not income qualified before the lottery. Is it because the income qualifications are different?
Well, they are income qualified in terms of, that they're saying, okay, I make less than $82,000 a year or whatever. But Belmont then goes back through and asks for follow-up documentation, saying like, all right, well, we see on your last tax return that you worked for DoorDash. Can you please provide evidence that you are no longer have income coming in from that source, that sort of thing. So when they went back through, or when they went through the applicants to see who was like actually fully qualified, people dropped off because they had other income sources.
Was the lottery more successful or like more in Cheektowaga? Did you have a bigger lottery or participation?
It's tough to say because it was certainly a smaller lot.
So 5 houses.
Yeah, 5 houses, 4 of which were located like within 50 to 200 feet of each other, in very similar homes. The and the prices were different. It's difficult. It was successful in the sense that the homes all sold, but it's hard to compare them necessarily to city properties.
Essentially 2 different markets. Cheektowaga, the suburbs versus city dwellers. So we are talking about 2 different markets with 2 different drivers for market segments. One of the things we're running into in some cases is the general market without doing lotteries and such. You're looking at usually less than 2 weeks when homes go on the market before they're under contract. When we have people that have to wait 30, 60 days before they even know if they've got the home, essentially in many cases, they're like, I've got a chance at this one. If I don't jump on it, I'm out.
So, and just for history, so there was a concern a year ago when we set this up that there would be some sort of allegation of favoritism, that houses would be steered towards friends and family or something. And so we were very conscious to try to randomize it. Now that we've gone through it and there's not the demand, I certainly feel comfortable moving away from the lottery.
Would you second that?
Sure.
Is there any other testimony or any other questions that we have?
If we'll follow the amendment, is this, if we do this again, do we start again, or can this amendment be just specific to the remaining 7 houses? Rather than changing the program, should we have additional houses that we're gonna?
So
Well, is the question, are we gonna not use the
The
lottery
lotteries,
for the
this is
rest
the end of the lottery
homes?
for good, yes.
So there are 25
Right,
more
more.
homes coming
Right.
in September-ish, let's
Right.
just say August, September. So this would mean that we are gonna sell those on a first come, first served basis, those 25 as well. One of the benefits of that is it'll give us a much better chance of moving those and not having to hold them in our inventory over the winter time, which is a very difficult time for monitoring them, heating and so forth like that for maintenance.
Sure.
And one of the big drivers behind the lottery as well were both of the members pushing the lottery.
Mhm.
It's my understanding that agreement between the members was reached prior to this meeting to go forward with the first come, first served. Yeah.
So I agree with this. What is being, but also I see how the lottery would have like a built-in protection from like manipulation. What protections are in place on the first come, first served basis to ensure that the applications are being routed in the order that they're received? Is there like a portal? Is there like how are they, what's the intake process?
Yeah, we're just talking about this like an hour ago. So all applications are going through Belmont Housing Resources for Western New York, their website. And each application is assigned a number and time stamped. So there's like thorough documentation. And we've already actually received applications for house, And if somebody wants to switch or, more information is needed, all of it's documented. And if they want to switch homes, that they have to reapply for the home that they're interested in. So we're setting up very clear policies and procedures and mechanisms that we can track these interactions so that each person, can fully be clear.
So that's an important point that I guess I was not aware of as well. It sounds like while you're potentially discontinuing the lottery, you're still utilizing Belmont to administer.
Right, they still have to qualify. They still have to be income qualified. They still have to go through all that evaluation, but then we're just, going to first serve, first come, first serve.
But you're using Belmont to do that, not doing it internally, I gather.
Correct.
Right. So it essentially before in the lottery phase, folks would apply through this portal, and then their application would be put through a lottery process, and they'd wait to hear back from the lottery process and go from that point. At this point, we're just removing the lottery process, but the application process is still the exact same. So it's the same website, all of the messaging is the same, all the eligibility requirements are the same. So it's just routing everybody to that website where they see all the information to apply, and the first eligible applicant to apply will have the opportunity to that.
Any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Is that a question?
No, I was actually saying aye.
Say aye. And you said aye, too,
Mm,
but you only count once.
yes,
Okay.
but I'm that important.
Any opposed? Motion carried. That no is a
No.
no.
Opposition.
You're having trouble communicating today.
I'm having trouble.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see how that's.
Yes, I think Rose and I are very clear.
I think we're gonna need to enter an executive session to have a robust discussion. Thank you. So we'll move on to agenda item number 5, resolution 2026-4, authorize acquisition of non-competitive disposition of city-owned vacant lots for 514 Memorial Project, pages 11 through 15.
And to provide us with a little bit of an overview, we do welcome Mr. Chad Houston, who is the inaugural executive director of the 514 Commission. Will talk to us a little bit about a really important project and how BENLIC may be able to assist by acquiring city-owned vacant lots.
Absolutely. So thank you for having me, Mr. Chair, Director Gordon, and to the members of the board. My name's Chad Houston. I'm from the 514 Memorial Foundation, and our charge is to build the 514 Living Memorial and Healing Center on the corner of Jefferson and Best. This project is really centered around healing and restoring a community after the tragedy that we all faced on May 14th, 2022. So the 514 Living Memorial and Healing Center, again, it's about healing. It is going to have a memorial structure in the front of the building. Also on the roof of the building will be a reflective garden for people to commune, but not only remember, but also celebrate the resilience of the city of Buffalo, celebrate the people of the city of Buffalo, and chart a pathway forward. We know that we lost 10 members of our community in that tragedy, and there will certainly be honoring and remembrance as a large part of the center. But also, it's about restoring those of us that are still here, our survivors. And really, I tell everyone that each and every one of us are survivors because any one of us could have been in that store that day. So we've been out talking to the community, having listening sessions, and really hearing from the community, and that's how we got onto this pathway of building the center. So it's going to be built Jefferson and Best on the southwest corner of Jefferson and Best. 18 lots total will be the full lot size, 14 of which were owned by the city of Buffalo. And The plan is to engage with the land bank to transfer the lots from the city of Buffalo to the land bank and then to the foundation. So I know that there's been a lot of work that's gone into this and a lot of consideration. So I thank you all really for your work and consideration of it. And I'm here to answer any questions.
So let me just provide some additional context. So, naturally, the function of the lots moving from the city to the land bank is a function of land banks. If you recall, I think it was last month, we amended one of our policies so that we could then transfer land for the nominal amount, which is under our powers and authorities as a land bank. So we're good in that regard. But then also, it opens up opportunities for if there's access to other funding that the land bank has to support the foundation, either now while the land sits with the land bank or in the future. I think that partnership is something that we can explore at that time. Thank you, Chad. And I think this is just one giant step towards what we hope to be a really good memorial for 514.
And there are 4 other parcels to be acquired.
Yes, so there's 4 other parcels, 2 of which are being donated, another 2 which we're closing on an acquisition price. There are 4 other parcels from 3 other private landowners. Jonathan Schechter from Gross Schumann is doing our closing process. And so we're at the point now where we're trying to coordinate all of the closing of the lots to close at the same time and then be able to combine the lots with the help of the city of Buffalo come September.
So it is envisioned then these are the only lots that would basically pass through BENLIC, or would there be additional lots?
No, so the ones that we have identified in the resolution today are the ones and the only ones that we intend for the city to transfer to BENLIC and then eventually to the foundation.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Any other questions? Is there a pleasure of the board?
I'll move it.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll
Thank you. Motion made and seconded. Anything on the question? All in favor?
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead. Is that Lou?
Yeah, yes, it is. Thank you. So just a quick question for Chad. Why this location as opposed to someplace closer to the tops?
That's a good question. So this all came about from the 514 Memorial Commission, which subsequently turned into the foundation. But the charge of the commission was to go out and to survey the community, have public hearings, and really get a sense of what the community was looking for as far as a permanent memorial. Tops, the corporation of Tops did build a memorial on their property, but what came back from the surveys was that though the community seemed like they wanted it in the neighborhood on Jefferson Avenue, there was a feeling that building something like this so close to where a domestic terrorist came to bring such terror on this community wasn't appropriate for the restoration piece of what we're trying to do with this center. So that was the feedback that we got from several members of the community. So this is Jefferson and Best is a place where you could access it, where family members could come and visit it without having to drive past the Tops, but it's still very much part of the Jefferson Avenue corridor, which is we all know is a historic and significant corridor in this community.
Who sat on that committee?
On the commission,
Yes.
Reverend Blue was the chair of the committee. Most of our board members also sat on the commission.
Well, I'll just say, I love the location and so for years on that location, years, so much so that my son, years sat on that location, a sign that said coming soon, I think Gateway Terrace,
Yes, probably.
decades.
Yes.
decades. And so every time it became a joke in my family, when we drive down there, my son would go, I can't wait till that comes. You know, he started making that joke when he was 10 and he's 27 now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great location. I'm very excited to see that space.
Can we have the sign delivered to his house?
I'd like to see where that sign is.
I'll work on that. But yeah, I mean, this has been a long process. I think, you know, all the pieces came together, you know, for this site. This was at another site on, the plan for this was at another site on Jefferson and Dodge. But this proved to be a much better site for us. And we were able to work it out with the help of the city of Buffalo and the private landowners. And, you know, we're happy to come in and put something meaningful on that site.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Again, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Moving on, number 6, resolution 2026-5, disposition of 702 Norfolk Buffalo LBI Rehab unrestricted, pages 17 through 18.
Page 17 and 18 in the package. This is a home that has come to the board in the past. Unfortunately, the approved deals did fall through after trying to pursue them to closing. So the property was relisted again in May 2026 for $165,000. Still a very healthy property market, and you can see on the next page, page 18, that we did have 3 offers. On the property, it was listed at 165, and we have 3 offers: a high offer at 190,500, second offer at 180,000, and then a third offer at ask. So the resolve does try to approve the first 2 bidders in case that one of these 2 bidders does fall through. So the resolve is suggesting that BENLIC, the board, authorize the disposition to the high bidder at 190,500 and the second bidder who's bidding at 180,000. And any questions? And John is here, John oversaw the rehab. That was land bank initiative funding. And then the sale is, again, no income restrictions on the sale, but the nature of the neighborhood, you know, in general, the market value is consistent with affordable home ownership.
Any questions to the board? John, is there anything to add, or it was pretty much summed up?
No, it was a good little rehab that was actually done by one of the minority contractors that we work with. So he did a good job, and I think the people getting it will get a nice little home.
Is there a pleasure of the board?
Motion to approve?
Motion made and seconded. Are you gonna like double each other's motions or?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes, we are gonna double each other's motion.
Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. 7, note and mortgage discharge action for 1603 Kensington and 93 Lynn.
So that's the last 2 pages in the packet, and these are really the last 2 vestiges of BENLIC's vacant to value program, which is where our land bank would acquire properties through the county auction. And we would find buyers of the properties who chose to improve them on their own. They had 1 year to improve the property or extensions if necessary. These 2 particular properties, John Good has overseen the renovations of the properties. And we did not have a slideshow today in the interest of time and everything. I think that was of other importance today. So we do not have pictures of the improvement, but John, do you want to add any context to these
Both of
folks
these
finishing
homes
up?
were basically a hair's breadth away from demolition. So the people have brought these back into life, back into the community. The one in Angola is actually occupied by a rental person. The one on Kensington is going to be occupied by the person that actually purchased it.
So as per the program guidelines, there is a lien placed against the property until the work is complete. The work is complete, so the owner has submitted their letter to BENLIC requesting a release of the lien. So the board would be authorizing removing both of these liens against the property since the work is complete.
Then just one motion to authorize the releases. Anything and further, any questions? Any pleasure of the board?
I'll make a motion.
He was done quiet. Thank you. Motion made by Karen, seconded by Mike. Anything on the question? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion approved. Why don't we move, because we will have an item for executive session, why don't we move on to the executive director's report?
Oh, I was just gonna say thank you for everything. That's all. So I can say that after executive session too. That's
Well, I would like to say thank you. Will be your probably last session, last board meeting. So I want to thank you for your leadership for the last, 14 years?
12. Yeah.
12 years? Okay,
It may have felt
2014.
like 14 at some point.
Well, I got 2014, but 12 years. This land bank wouldn't be where it is without your
Absolutely
guidance
Thank
and
you.
your
It's been a
leadership.
wonderful job,
Absolutely.
and
It
you know,
really,
a great board, some old great board members as
Yeah.
well that have changed a lot as the administration and my staff, could never have done it without the staff, and it's been wonderful. So
Yeah,
thank
we've
you,
had-
and I look forward to what you'll all do with it.
yeah,
the
and
future,
you know,
too.
there's changes still ongoing, right? The city's changed. Next year, there'll probably be some changes with the county people after next year. But I think the organization's in a good place, and we have some pivoting to do, and we'll figure that out. But I think your leadership has been, I think we all appreciate.
Thank you, and I'm committed to the transition
Yeah.
process.
Yep.
I understand it's complicated and
Yeah.
finding a fit, and I hope the board. I think I would hope that the board maybe puts a roadmap together for the next executive director, and then they can really jump in and have their tasks and mission lined up. I think that'll be really helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely have some decisions to make over the next couple months.
Oh, yeah, thank you very
So-
much.
I want to add, in particular, being a later board member, I know how difficult it was to have sort of the city and the county, there was at odds, right? Tension. There was push and pull, and you got caught up a lot in that, and I thought handled it as at best, certainly better than I would have ever handled it. So
There were ebbs and flows,
Yeah.
but the first several years, we were kind of all county and,
Yeah.
everything was great. And then, we kind of worked into a relationship with the city, and then we were kind of all city. And then the more money, more problems, right?
yeah, so
We asked
yeah,
for it.
yeah,
you know,
yeah,
we
right.
said, ARPA, great, let's do this. And I think that's all. So,
yeah, it became
it's okay.
so good on you for
But
handling
we
it as
built
well as you did.
64 houses, and
Yeah.
I don't think in over a generation there's been that kind of single family infill housing built in the city. So I think it's really something to be proud of, and impacting over 350
Well,
properties throughout the
I wanted to
county.
mention, because
Yeah.
she'll put together a press release that will go out, we'll talk about, but if we acquisition of 247 properties and 220 dispositions, returning 137 structures and 81 lots to productive use. Rehab of 86 properties, 50 vacant to value programs, to date 21 affordable new housing, 66 more, and securing almost $37 million in funding. I mean, those,
Yep. And when
That's really
we first started, I asked Maria if I could get reimbursement for my mileage, and she said, we don't have any money in the account to pay for your mileage, and we had no money. So amazing that we
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
able to raise what we
Yeah.
did.
and now, the land bank grants from the states are wonderful. But I think it's just, I think this this organization has accomplished an awful lot. So I thank you for that.
Thank you.
And setting us up for future successes, especially given the transition that we as a land bank are going through, not only with an executive director moving on, but also with the way that we have conducted business as a land bank, going from and land banks throughout the state, going from acquiring properties traditionally through foreclosure proceedings. Now we've acquired them through the ARPA funding, and now we have to determine what will happen with the refeed. Will there be a second round? What's going to go on with that? So helping us get to that stage. Thank you.
You're all in a really strong financial position too, sustainable financial position to do those things.
Yeah.
And thank you to the state very much for HCR for that foundational support.
HCR is critical.
It is.
And did you also make a motion for?
I would like to make a motion that we go into executive discussion to discuss
1051F. 1051F, potential hiring of it.
exactly what I just
The
said.
employment, yeah, matters leading to the employment of a particular person or a particular person's employment history.
Yes. I wish I could remember that when I have to do it, but I don't.
And could I trouble whoever's controlling the Zoom, could you let Emily in, please? I think she's in the waiting room.
Yep.
But you need a motion second, and then you can invite whoever you'd like to stay.
Motion made by Dan, seconded by Thomas. Anything on the question other than we wanted council to stay
Yeah, John, you and Emily can stay, obviously,
and Lou?
and Lou. Yeah, he's a member of the board.
Was there anybody else that was on there? We were able to shut.
John, Emily, and Lou.
Okay.
Yeah, just for the record, Lou is no longer on the call.
Well, then Lou's not going to stay.
Okay.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Lou.